Howdy everyone, and welcome to another stupid video with me, Craig Bryant. And as you can see, hands free, well, my hands are on the wheel. I'm looking this way because I'm driving, and my lovely beautiful wife is holding the camera. Merry Christmas, first of all. We are just driving home, well, driving to Rachel's home in Northern Ireland for Christmas. And to get to Northern Ireland, we obviously need to get a ferry. Well, you could get a plane, but what's the point in that? You might as well get a ferry and then you can take your little brum on it as well. And today, I have gone with P&O ferries, which I know get a massive bad rap. I agree with all of the employment law stuff. It's an absolute disgrace. But I've already done a video on Stena Line, Stena Superfast, and I thought, well, let's do one on the European Causeway / Highlander. But I think it is going to be the European Causeway today. Today is the 23rd, Christmas Eve, and it has been terrible weather. It's been storm Pia, or Pia. It's Pia, isn't it, Rich?
I think so.
I think so. Sorry, that's my Northern Irish back there. Storm Pia, just as I navigate this roundabout in a safely manner. Yes, that meant all of the ferries, all yesterday during the day, but mainly the day before that, I think about 4 or 5 ferries were cancelled, so it's going to be busy anyway, and then we're going to have all of the backlog from that. So I've seen a couple of the electronic signs saying that freight drivers, they're going to be put in a system at CAIRNRYAN in order to queue properly. So I don't know what it's going to be like for us. We booked ours well in advance. What P&O have done as well, they've added the last 3 or 4 days well in advance, they've added an extra sailing, so I think it's about 6 sailings each way per day, which meant that our original ferry, which was, I'm just doing another roundabout guys, 2 seconds, which meant that just this guy, he was in the wrong lane. We'll get on with it though, it's absolutely fine. He's probably not from around here, never a man. Yes, but basically, what was I talking about there? Can't remember. Doesn't matter anyway, does it? Anyway, we're going to be getting to the ferry, and we're going via a post office to send some things to some of our American friends, Rachel's American friends. So we need to stop at the post office, but we're probably about an hour and 20 minutes away. We're in Dumfries now, driving on the A75, which is an absolute disgrace of a road. Beautiful, but a disgrace of a road. It needs to be dual carriageway, high quality the whole way. But yes, I will see you when we get to the ferry port. This is the problem with the A75, as you can see. We are following, it's not this guy's fault, but he's got a Northern Irish plate on there. How do you think cars get to Northern Ireland? They need to be taken. If people in Northern Ireland want a BMW, this is how they get there. But this needs to be dual carriageway, at least. If not, I think should be turned into the M75 motorway, but we'll probably never get that. I would be happy with a high quality dual carriageway the whole way. What I mean by high quality is we need to have no at-grade junctions. It needs to all be grade separated, and it needs to form a southern bypass of Dumfries, because Dumfries, the traffic is terrible there. Anyway, rant over. We will be in CAIRNRYAN in about an hour's time. Also guys, I know I said I would see you in CAIRNRYAN, but Rachel, to her dismay, has had to film even more here. We're entering Crocketford, which is probably how you see it, and as you can see, it's 30 miles an hour. There's another little village called Springhome, I think, which is also not bypassed on the A75. This one doesn't have it, but in is it Spring? What is it called? Spring something. Anyway, not Springfield where the Simpsons live, Spring something. In the other one, they've got these traffic lights, which if you go over 30 miles an hour, they then turn red in advance. So it catches out all of the, like, basically, you've done that mistake once, and then you just like, right, it actually makes you stick to the speed limit. But Crocketford doesn't have that, but in the next place it does. But again, so that's that. Another 30 mile an hour speed limit on a trunk road from Scotland to Northern Ireland is ridiculous. Rant over. And lo and behold, someone's done it. You can't see it, but I can see the red light. Someone has gone over the speed limit in Springhome. I was right about Springhome. You can see the sign just coming up here. And someone drove just a bit over 30 mile an hour. I mean, like if you go 31, and this traffic light turned to red because of it. Absolute disaster.
to our little Bible study. She was very quiet, but she enjoyed the service. Because of HIPAA, they take away the ability for us to know what's going on with things that don't make sense. So many things that are broken, we can't understand them. And she said, "Thank you." That was, she just clearly said thank you.
European Causeway, at least it's still there. Oh, look at the Christmas tree. Leaving this bit in here because I think people get stressed out when they think about getting a ferry. You know, what's it like to drive around a ferry port? How do I know where to go? Just follow the signs, guys. As you can see here, it's very simple. Coming from England, you'd probably be coming the way I've just come in there. Left hand turn off the main road. Most of Scotland will be coming down the A77, turning right. You can see, follow the signs to ferry traffic, and straight ahead is a free car park. Unlike Stena Line, P&O give you a free car park if you want to be a foot passenger. And here you've got check-in in these little booths. I don't show you security for obvious reasons, so you're going to see me transport myself from this position into the queues for the traffic. And as you can see, actually, the ferry was already boarding here, which is very unusual because it was such a busy crossing. There's the terminal building too. We are away. We are driving towards the European Causeway through the P&O port at CAIRNRYAN here. It's quite a long drive, as you can see. You can see the ferry in the distance there. Normally, I would have got out there, would have went to the toilet, gone around in the terminal. I actually wanted to show you inside the terminal building, but this was quite an unusual sailing. Obviously, being so close to Christmas, it meant that we were basically 5 minutes in the car and then immediately sent on to the ferry to drive on. It was a very busy sailing, probably by far the busiest sailing I've ever been on this route in particular. We ended up leaving P&O CAIRNRYAN at around 15 minutes before departure time, and that meant we actually got into Larne about 10 minutes before, so that was great. An early sailing, even with it being so busy. But I'll just let you enjoy the natural sounds as we drive onto our ferry over to Northern Ireland. Goodbye Great Britain for 2023. Got some unaccompanied freight coming off there. Who's beeping? Interesting one. So this vehicle's got 3 car decks. One of them is underneath. There's double level loading. It's a double level link span, but then there's a third level right at the bottom. But thankfully we're not going to that. We're on the top vehicle deck, which I don't know what number it is. It's like deck 5 or something. Anyway, we're about to board now. Shorter ship ramps. On the weather deck. On the weather deck. He's gonna get absolutely covered. I'm gonna have to wash the car again now. It's fine though. Anyway, let's get up on deck with the lads. Deck 3, not 5. No, thank you. Let's get at the front. Sorry everyone, I know it is terrible light, but this is what you get on the viewing deck of the P&O European Causeway. I'm trying to get a shot here. The light has gone so quickly. It's the second shortest day of the year, to be fair. It's the 23rd of December, and it being the 23rd of December, it is absolutely rammed. I know there's nobody out on here, on the deck, on the deck is what I mean. I'm going to come over here because the lighting's a little bit better, because you can see over there is, look at all of those trailers there, absolutely amazing. But there's been quite a few of these ferry sailings, both from P&O and Stena. It's nothing to do with just this company. It's cancelled over the last couple of days due to Storm Pier. But what we've got today is, it is rammed. Now, I don't know off the top of my head, I feel like it's between 1,000 and 1,200 passengers is what the European Causeway is certified for. I will double check that, because it might be lower, it might be like 800. But it is rammed. I mean, like, every single seat is taken. We were probably sort of in the final third of people getting on, maybe not, maybe even halfway. In every single seat in the bar, every single seat was taken. I'll take you on a little bit of a tour of the ship, just so you can get your bearings. But the difference with this ship compared to the Stenas, which is their direct competitor, you can see just in the distance, you've probably seen it, so where my fluffy microphone was pointing just there, that's one of the Stena Superfasts at their Loch Ryan port, so just up from CAIRNRYAN, and those have, so much more passenger space on board. All passenger accommodation is on one deck, deck 4, here on the European Causeway. The European Causeway and its sister ship, European Highlander, ply this route. They were the first two purpose-built vessels for P&O for this route. Every other time it had been handed down from, one of their Dover routes. So, say the Pride of Elsa and the Pride of Rathlin. I think they were the Pride of Walmer and the Pride of Sandwich. Tell us if I'm wrong about that. Whereas the European Highlander and Causeway, they were both purpose-built for this route. So they are great vessels, but on a day like today, they pale in insignificance compared to the Stena line. Stena lines, Stena Superfast, are what I would definitely call a row packs. So that is a roll-on, roll-off, but for passengers as well. That's the packs bit at the end. This very much feels like, a glorified freight row vessel. It does have a bit of passenger accommodation. Like I said, when I've used this route in the past, like say 2 Februaries ago, when it was the Vomit Comet, it was horrible here. I'll stop.
Good afternoon. The vessel is now secure and proceed about the burn.
Oh,
Expected weather on the voyage is quite fresh westerly winds and slight moderate seas. We should have a comfortable crossing. We are on schedule to expect to arrive in Port of LARNE at 7 p.m. For your safety, we unite separated family members. At an assembly station, a crewman will give you a life jacket and show you place the life jacket over your head. Take the strap line from the hacket, fasten the bow, and the life jacket is equipped with a whistle and a light for attracting attention. To switch on the light, turn the bulb clockwise. Ship, you'll be directed either to the ship's lifeboats or to the marine evacuation system, which will be deployed by Causeway is equipped with smoke detectors, automatic sprinkler systems, and fire alarm push buttons. Finally, we must remind you that it's illegal for passengers to return to the car decks during the voyage. The captain, officers, and crew are fully trained to deal with any emergency. Any member of the crew will be pleased to assist you and answer any of your questions. Thank you for your attention.
Enough of the announcements, please.
Welcome on board the European Causeway. Before the crossing is done, on board serving a variety of cocktails, snacks, and drinks.
Right, we have just set off now from Cairnryan, and I am now back on deck 4. Like I said, everything's on deck 4 apart from the one thing I was telling you about. Deck 5, that there just above, is a sun deck. Why don't you light it, P&O? It is really, really dark up there. I am usually one of the only people here, but as you can see, it's rammed even out here on deck. Behind me, just through there, you can see the Christmas tree through the window. That's the cinema that I was saying, oh, I'm never going to go in there. That's actually where Rachel sat. She sat right in the front row, sort of close to that Christmas tree. They're watching a film called The House with Clocks on Its Walls. Have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of that. Anyway, that sounds riveting. I'm glad I'm not in there. I'm going to stay out on deck just as we exit Loch Ryan. In the background there, you can't see anything. I mean, it's terrible for a YouTube video. It is the second shortest day of the year, so like getting a daytime sailing was hard enough. That there, just in the bit behind us there, is Stena Line's Loch Ryan port. We'll be probably going past that. I think we do set off before that because of the timetable changes today. This is a 5 o'clock sailing. This is what 5 o'clock, by the way, looks like at 55 degrees north. It is pitch black already. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy a little bit of the scenery, if I can see it. It's better with my own eyes than it is on camera. And then I'll do a bit of an inside tour and might get some food, like not proper food. You can get proper food on board. I will say this, I've had the burgers and the fish and chips before. It's absolutely lovely. Quick note to say, actually, this was the British Army and the Navy's backup port if Liverpool was destroyed or invaded in World War II. Loch Ryan port is a deep water port. Stranraer, though, further down where Stena Line used to do their ferry port is still decaying down in Stranraer. That used to silt up and it cost too much to dredge, and also they had to reduce the speed of the ferries going into Stranraer as well as a longer journey. All saying that in 2011, that's when Stena Line built and opened a very similar port to the one that P&O had on Loch Ryan, which means that Stena Line could reduce their time for their services to Belfast. We'll be going over to Larne. This was originally intended to be 105 minutes, so that's 1 hour and 45 minutes. Basically now it's a 2-hour crossing is how it's always advertised, but you do get in a little bit earlier, so I quite like that about P&O. They sort of undersell themselves. There's quite a few. I think every single time I've been on this, we've probably been in port 5 minutes at least beforehand, and also I think we've set off slightly earlier, even with such a heavy loading today. I must say the staff were really friendly. You go through security on the way in, they checked under my car for bombs and things like that, classic, and checked in the back and went, is that just presents? I was like, yes, they're all wrapped in Christmas. I mean, if you're going to be a drug smuggler, you'd probably wrap them up in Christmas wrapping anyway, wouldn't you? But the security were actually really, really friendly. didn't have time though to go. I wanted to go into the terminal, but they got us on so quickly, which shows a bit of foresight actually. And I must say, this is, in my experience, P&O's best route, and it's just a shame how they treat their staff. If you want to look into that more, I'm not going to talk about it loads in this video. I'm sure lots of you ferry nerds will all know what I'm on about. Even non-ferry nerds knew what P&O did. But we are just going past. Which Stena Superfast is that? I mean, I literally cannot tell it in the dark. I'm going to just be guessing that it's the... I'm going to guess it's the 7, but I've got no idea. It could be the 8. So the Stena Superfast, just over there, and you can see they're just boarding. They're just going up the link span there. So we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them to Northern Ireland. Anyway, I'm going to have a bit of a chill, and I will see you on the tour inside. Club lounge. If you're ever on this ferry, don't miss out to get up to deck 5. Look for viewing deck. It's a huge door like that, but not very well signposted. And then this is how you get out. Next to the funnel. Dark. Just put some lights on deck 5, please. It was nice to look at the stars if there was, you know, any stars up there. This is terrible for a YouTube video. I am down onto deck 4 again. We're just passing the lighthouse, Causeway Point Lighthouse, I think it is, and I hope you can hear us because it's pure windy like. The sea state, so the sea state as you exit Loch Ryan, obviously it's going to get a little bit worse. I think as we get out the channel, I think top sort of constant wind speed is going to be 25 knots, which isn't too bad, although I do think that the gusting especially, it's going to be a bit higher winds than that, but it does feel quite windy. There is a bit of movement on the ferry, not too bad. I think actually being at night, you can see it less. It was only when going past the lighthouse and you could see it, obviously firm on the horizon and the boat going up and down. You're like, oh wow, it actually is moving a bit. Also, as it exits the loch, it takes a left turn, which you get a slight bit of roll. But actually, at this point, quite comfortable. I think if you're inside and you're eating, like walking down the stairs there, I was going sort of side to side. So I think this is sort of on the end of comfortable for most people. I think most people would be like, yeah, they'd want it to calm down a little bit now. But yeah, not too bad for people like myself who are nutcases who are outside. There is a few people outside as well. A few down there you can't see as well. That top deck though, too dark, so I'm going to stay down just on the side here. This is normally where you get a lot of smokers. This is where they like to hang out. And I'll pop in to see the lovely wife to see how that stupid film's going on, and then do the deck tour. But I'm just going to enjoy. I'm looking at the lighthouse as we speak. It started raining, but this is why you come prepared. I've got my gloves, I've got me stupid Newcastle hat on. Newcastle have just been beat 1-0 off Luton. How pathetic. Back to the old days. And yes, just going to chill.
Until one night last year, Isaac performed a blood magic ritual that killed him. A key. A clock key of human bone.
Sorry, mate. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Well, I hope you can hear us. I've got the microphone on. We're about mid-passage now. And I'm not going to even try zooming in. This camera, I mean, it's an iPhone 12 Pro Max. The camera's normally okay. You can see the lighthouse right in the distance now. So that's how far we've come. Out at sea here, you've got 3 other ships. So over there, and you can see the 2 ferries in the distance there. Now, just what you see right in the distance, I think that's probably to the far left the European Highlander, and you've got right in the middle in the distance one of the Stena Superfasts, and this is the other one of those. I think that's right. I can see a red funnel over there on this one. So yeah, those 2 are Stena Superfast crossing over, but we've already done our crossover because of the schedule change. So you normally cross over about now. Right in the distance there, you can start to see. You can see a lighthouse in the distance. I think that is probably Lighthouse Island, just off Donaghadee in North Ards, just in the northern part there. That's just along from Bangor. I can see, you'll not be able to see it, you can see the lights there of Belfast right in the distance, and I can see a red mast light. So that's probably maybe the Divis Mountain transmitter. And further up there, so that's where the Stena Superfast are heading into. They're heading into Belfast. We are heading straight across to those lights there, which is Larne. I'm going to take a seat here. There was quite a bit of movement there. What I should say is there's a noticeable change. We are probably midships now, actually, because the passenger accommodation is all located nearer the front, where the car's parked down the back. I'm just going to sit and look at this while we chat away. Yeah, I think we're probably midships now, so it's the least amount of movement you're going to feel at this point. Whereas at the bow, in the bar, I mean, I was like walking side to side going into there, but feeling absolutely fine. Totally different. I just don't know what it is, if it's, you know, taking one of those travel sickness tablets, or if that's a placebo effect, or if it is actually the darkness. But there is, yeah, just because it's a busy crossing. We've been watching this stupid film, probably about the occult, I think it is. So anyway, it's like a kids' film with Jack Black in it. Nothing on School of Rock, unfortunately. And so I left Rachel in there. Really nice, comfy seats, actually. I must say that. Really, really good, comfy seating in there. But I'm just going to sit out here for a little bit, nip to the toilet, and then go back in there because it is too windy and there is nothing to film. Some of you will also have noticed on the ship tour, I couldn't get into the club lounge. Obviously, I haven't paid for it. I might actually try that on the way back. We'll see. I don't think I've had a look in through the windows. It's a similar to Stena Plus in terms of getting, you know, free tea and coffee, probably free cans of Coke, things like that, and free nibbles. But you're not going to get a substantial meal in there unless you pay for it on top, like you would in the cafeteria. Cafeteria is rammed. Bar is rammed. The foyer, where the welcome desk is, we've got lovely Christmas trees up, very Christmassy, lovely to see, but rammed as well. There is a small truckers lounge. That's the other area of the ship that I can't get into, because as much as I watch YouTube videos of Trucker Jenko and The Breeze, I am not a trucker. I'm a wannabe trucker. So yeah, can't get into there. But if any truckers who've been on this could let us know what that's like. I feel like it's got sort of, not like little pods that you could lie down in, I think. Similar position to the club lounge on the other side of the ferry. But those are the 2 areas. If you're just a normal fare paying passenger, those are the 2 areas you can't get into. The cost of this, we got it for about 330 quid return. That's 2 people, and with a car, it's Ford Fiesta, so it's as cheap as a car's ever going to be. No roof box, no trailer, anything like that. So 330 return at Christmas as well. They put the prices up a little bit. I think that's pretty good quality, good value for money. I must say, the EasyJet and Aer Lingus, the other 2 options that we've got other than Stena. I've got some Stena points to use up. I want to use them later in the year. The EasyJet and Aer Lingus were actually far more expensive, and that was even without adding much baggage on. You can normally get it sort of for 2 people. Sorry, it's £105 returnish, which is, I think, really good value. But it was over 380 at this time of year, so it just shows. Check out the ferry. Even bringing a car this time was cheaper than coming just with like a rolly. overhead cabin case. That's what I would normally get. I wouldn't even get sort of baggage underneath. Anyway, I'm going to stop yapping on. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give a subscribe, please give this a like, and drop some comments about how you think I'm a moron. I should have come here during the day to do some of the sights. I know what the sights look like, you might not, but it is normally a beautiful crossing. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm feeling really good actually, and we are just going to have quite a posh meal on the other end. We had a voucher for Sleepy Hollow in Ballyrobert, so we're going to get off the ferry straight away and we're going to drive down there, down the A8 from Larne to Ballyrobert, and have a lovely meal. And one other thing to show you here. That is my t-shirt. I hope you can see it properly. It says "Making Good Time," and it's a little drawing of the Stena Superfast. Now I know I'm on the P&O, I know, but it's a ferry t-shirt. I asked for some Stena or P&O merch for my birthday, and instead, my wife, Rachel, the absolute legend, love her so much, drew this and got it embroidered. It's like an actual quality cotton t-shirt. So at some point I might get her. I'll obviously not be able to sell stuff like this because of copyright, but I might do some Craig Bryan merch at some point, which will be, you know, I might sell one or even two of them to myself. But thank you so much, Rachel, for that. It was a lovely birthday present. I've got me did Christmas Day yesterday, so I've got me new Adidas Super Sambas on from me mum. Shout out to me mum, and shout out to all of my loyal subscribers, all 222 of you. Thank you so much for watching these, and enjoy the rest of the video. Yeah, it's a picture. Smell. Oh, back on the deck. So we are just approaching the port of Larne in County Antrim in Northern Ireland. Usually, if you come in the day especially, but if you don't come in an absolute wild gale, don't think it's a gale, but it's still pretty windy, you can have a lovely view of the Antrim coast up there. As we can see, you've got the coast road just going around there. On the right you can see some of the lights, and we're just pulling past the cover of Isle of Magee, which is on our left side, which is port, is it? Or starboard? I can't remember actually, that's terrible. Anyway, I'll get some views of that, but we can see here the right side, I'm looking for the Chain Memorial Tower. It's got a nice little sort of a light beacon into it. Just looking back out to sea, you might see two light buoys there, and then a lighthouse on the far left. That is the Maidens, which are basically just some skerries, some rocks, small islets just off the coast, and those buoys there, I think, sort of mark the entrance into the approach into Larne, and then you'll get yellow and red buoys within harbour. As you can see, there's quite a lot of spray still coming up. Let's go around to the other side. As you can see, no one's silly enough to really be out here. There's a few people about, but pure pitch blackness as per usual. This is what it's been like the whole time. And as we can see there, beautiful, lovely view. That on a lovely summer's day is Browns Bay, which is absolutely gorgeous. And what you can't see as well, which is really annoying, is Ballylumford power station. This is also where one of the connectors, electric connectors between Great Britain and Ireland come in. I think it may be the only one. It comes in at this point, and there's a gas connector. As you can see here now, we're taking sort of a southerly approach, and we're going to swing into the left. There's the harbour with all the lights, and then you can see the yellow and red buoys. they mark the left and right side of the channel. Over there is Island McGee, which is not really an island, it's a peninsula off Antrim. That's bound to be over there. Lovely place, but not on a day like this. Not on a day like this. I'm going to watch this come in. Well, here we go. We are approaching Larne, and you're getting a much better view here, actually. And as the fog and the spray give way, I've got to go and pick up the lovely lady wife who's just there next to the Christmas tree. So I'm just going to stand here until we get called to the car decks. But there we are, coming into Larne, coming into Northern Ireland for Christmas. I am drenched. We're here in Larne. I'm not even putting that thing back on. Let's go and get a piece of a lady wife. A secret little door into the cinema. Rachel, you alright? Where do you go? A very full ferry. Well everyone, we're in the car, and thank you so much for joining me and my beautiful wife, bless her, on this wet and windy crossing at Christmas time on the European Causeway, part of P&O Ferries, the other vessel on this route, of course, European Highlander, exactly the same, slightly long, tiny bit longer, and has an extra lift. That's the only difference. Every other way, it's exactly the same. Also has an extra lifeboat on each side, but you don't care about that bit. If you've enjoyed this, bless you, you poor people. Enjoy that, and give it a subscribe and a like if you haven't done so already, and catch you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.